you guys seen Game Change? It's about Sarah Palin and how they like just kind of found her on YouTube. This, they were looking for a woman because they needed a game change. They didn't vet her, and well, she sounded good on the surface, but no one really vetted her. They usually take a couple weeks and dig. She is so astoundingly stupid because this is what they said. We've never seen this before. I mean, you could joke about this, Dan Quayle or whatever, but these people usually do know a lot. They brought in these experts to tutor her. And this woman who handled her or whatever, she was a big Republican with Bush and this and that, and she was like, it was so real, this movie. What'd she say? My skin crawl or something.
That's funny. That's always how I imagine Palin is, with a big Republican Bush.
Even if 20% of this is true, she is just nowhere near what we need. She did not know the most basic thing. Literally, she would say stuff like, we would call the queen because we've had a good relationship with her. And they'd be like, the queen. you would call the prime minister. She'd like look at him like with a blank stare.
Right.
They'd like look at each other and they were freaking out. They asked her about the Fed and they go, what should the Fed do? And she was like, well, the government should. And they're like, the Fed. And she thought they meant the federal government. She didn't even know the Fed was a Federal Reserve, an institution, and even remotely what this did. They're like, well, a lot of people don't know that stuff, but they're also not vice president. How stupid you think these George Bush or whatever is? There's never been anyone even remotely like that. Like George Bush knew what the Fed is. He knew the general functions and all this stuff. So anyway, they start teaching her about history. They bring in these experts and they're like, oh, we're gonna go in the post-Putin era of Russian, resurgence of their economy, blah blah blah. And they're like, no, you're going to have to go a little bit more basic. All of a sudden, they show them a globe, and they're pointing at, this is Germany. And obviously, and what was funny, too, because some of the people working on the campaign were like, well, it's basically like Obama. He doesn't know anything, or he hasn't done anything. Another guy working on the campaign goes, yeah, she's just like Obama, except he was a constitutional law professor.
So true.
We're with the government.
Well, no thanks. We've got all the government we need.
Every other country has had like multiple constitutions.
Yeah, big revolts, whatever.
Multiple forms of government. I know everybody's like, ours is supreme and ours is great, but, maybe there's a different way. Maybe it's time for things to change.
I think the American Magna Carta rocks. That's what they call it, right? American Magna Carta? I don't know.